All right. Thank you, everybody. And welcome to the council meeting for Wednesday, November the 22nd. First item is calling this meeting to order, which we will do. And the next item is a land acknowledgement. We are gathering on lands that have been home to First Nations people from time immemorial. We acknowledge that what we now call Richmond Hill is on the treaty lands and territories of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the Mississaugas and Chippewa nations of the Williams Treaty. We also recognize that we are on part of the traditional territories of the Haudenosaunee and the Huron-Wendat. We would like to acknowledge all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people from across Turtle Island who now reside in the city of Richmond Hill. We are committed to rebuilding constructive and cooperative relationships. So with that, I would ask if you can, please stand for our national anthem. Thank you, everybody. So the next item on the agenda is a public forum, and we do have a very full number of people today. We have 5 delegates. What I would ask, if council is okay with this, is we normally don't have very many, if any, people for this. So if we could extend the time so that each person has the 5 minutes if they need it. If you don't need it, that's okay. So I would ask if that's okay with everybody, if they could let me know. I don't see any objections. Okay. So the first person that we have signed up for the public forum is Rihanna Ford, and founder of Re-Up the Loud Plug regarding reconsidering legal cannabis storefronts in Richmond Hill. So Rihanna, you've got up to 5 minutes to address council. If it's less, that's okay.
Good morning, Mayor and council members. My name is Rihanna Ford, and through the chair, I'm here to discuss the potential in reconsidering the motion of legal cannabis storefronts in the city of Richmond Hill. Today, I'm glad to be sharing the opportunity to discuss the current legal cannabis retail landscape in newly opted-in cities like Mississauga. I'd like to propose if any questions, statements are saved maybe after our last speaker in regards to this topic, as amongst all 3 of us, we do offer varied backgrounds in owning, operating, and industry experience within legal cannabis. On January 25th, 2023, myself, Brad Stott, and Cyrus Hambas, CEO of cannabis licensed producer, Canadian Clinical Cannabinoids, and leading cannabis brand, The Loud Plug, we made our deputation for the reconsideration of legal cannabis storefronts in Mississauga. As like yourselves, a city that chose to opt out during the dawn of legalization. However, with time passing and updated legal cannabis information, Mississauga came to a vote April 19th, 2023, with a well-deserved 8-4 win. I'd like to detail some concerns and ultimately the newfound understanding and research that led to the overall motion to reconsider, leading to a successful vote. In reference to Resolution 0103-2023, adopted by the Council of the Corporation of the City of Mississauga at its meeting on the 19th of April, 2023, states, whereas on December 12th, 2018, Mississauga passed Resolution 02-18-2018 to prohibit retail cannabis stores in the city of Mississauga, and whereas the city of Mississauga prohibited or opted out of the retail sale of cannabis due to, one, concerns around the lack of adequate municipal oversight on the location of retail cannabis stores in Mississauga, and the ensuing risk of clustering. And two, a desire to seek better municipal oversight over retail cannabis store locations before opting in. Similar to Mississauga, with 2 to 3 illicit stores currently operating in Richmond Hill, the resolution further states the untenable position of being unable to effectively shut down illegal cannabis stores. However, the existence of legal cannabis retail stores will make illegal cannabis stores less attractive. As residents are being forced to buy cannabis either online, unnecessarily commuting to neighboring cities, or purchasing illegally in their city. The resolution concludes with an updated legal cannabis understanding, stating whereas it was prudent for Mississauga to have taken a wait and see approach, with the prime rationale for this being to advocate for greater municipal control over the location of cannabis stores. But 4.5 years later, it is clear that, one, the provincial government has no intention of providing Mississauga or any other municipality greater control over the location of cannabis stores. Two, the cannabis market has matured and understands the risk in overclustering. And three, the existence of legal retail cannabis stores will reduce the profitability of illegal operating cannabis stores. I hope with this current discoveries from municipalities like Mississauga that recently reviewed the change and their stance on legal cannabis storefronts can alleviate any concerns and now offer perspective on potentially reconsidering. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
The next person we have is Cyrus Hambez.
So currently he is on the way, so we're hoping to have Brett Unger speak in turn.
Okay, we'll do that. I mean, if he's later than this segment, he'll be out of luck, but Brett, if you wanted to come up. Hello, sir. You've got 5 minutes to address council.
Perfect. Good morning, Mayor and councillors. It's an honor to be here today. My name is Brett Unger, owner and operator of Takeoff Cannabis, a retail cannabis store. I'll get straight to the point. The fact is, the government of Canada legalized cannabis for recreational sale, giving individuals the ability to purchase Health Canada approved and tested cannabis. We can all assume the government was in it for the tax revenue, but this is Canada. What I see is the government giving small business owners and entrepreneurs a chance to build a business to support themselves, their family, and the economy, all while providing the knowledge to consume responsibly. Whether it's my 65-year-old mother who takes CBD daily for pain, or my oldest 87-year-old customer who purchases dry cannabis flower every day, these are your 2023 cannabis consumers. Cannabis is more than just a 25-year-old sitting on the couch getting high and eating food. It's something that helps improve lives every day. The wellness side to me is the greatest accomplishment in the industry, and it makes up 35% of my business. In fact, in October, the top selling product in Ontario was an edible. The stigma is over, but to some people, they believe it still exists. But that is only because they don't understand the products and won't take the time to learn. Job creation, empty units being leased out, this all helps your direct economy within your city. Teach and educate. That's the forefront of the retail cannabis industry now. Giving your community the ability to get the advice they need is the priority. Consumers have questions that can't be answered by purchasing online. Yes, it's easy to say, drive to Aurora. My question to you today is why? Why not let your community have the convenience of local stores to learn and purchase from, and give small businesses a chance to thrive because of it? My one store sponsors 3 children's sports teams, 2 local bars, and most important is the local food bank that we support. And in 2022 alone, we donated 450 pounds of food. Why not give your community the chance to benefit from something like that? When it comes to underage use, you have to provide ID to enter the store, unlike your LCBO or beer store that you provide only during the purchase of the product. And when it comes to the license itself, it's rigorous to obtain one. Just for example, during my application process, it was on hold for 4 weeks. Why? I had a traffic ticket that I didn't disclose to them. That's how detailed the process is. We deal with routine surprise inspections along with mystery shoppers. and we have to govern ourselves to a suitable code of business ethics. The initial investment for me to start my store was $500,000. I'm sure some of you have heard about clustering with stores. Well, truthfully, it's no different than a mall with 20 clothing stores or a main intersection with 4 gas stations. Eventually, the market corrects itself. As we've seen in Mississauga, the craze of clustering isn't happening there. It's not like it was when legalization first took place. Cannabis is here today, and it's not going away. Don't ignore it. You have to put your personal feelings aside. I ask you again, why should your community have to travel to learn and purchase a legal product? This isn't a political statement anymore. The vote is long over, and it's clear that cannabis is here to stay. Let your community learn and educate themselves for proper consumption and give small business owners the opportunity to thrive in your beautiful city. And just for the record, I do not consume any cannabis. I am just an entrepreneur who loves the industry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The next speaker on our list is Tristan Kuhlman, President of PFLAG York Region, regarding recent actions of a member of council. Is Tristan here? Okay, we'll move on. The next person is Sharon Chisholm, 81 Shaftesbury Avenue, regarding recent actions of a member of council.
Good morning, Mayor West, Deputy Mayor Chan, and councillors of Richmond Hill. Further to comments that we've seen over the past days and whatnot, I must also express my extreme disappointment in Deputy Mayor Chan's gross missteps, and I ask that he unequivocally disavow the ignorant, homophobic, and transphobic dog whistle statements made by Pierre Poilievre. Although much to my chagrin, while Richmond Hill and its council has quickly become associated with bigoted anti-gay ideologies, my other deep concern is regarding the appearance of behind closed doors partisan politics in our municipal functioning. I don't think I need to remind people that municipal administration is one of the last bastions of direct public input, with at least the semblance of being apolitical. All you have to do is look south to see the mess that has been created by Democratic and Republican cities. In my opinion, we don't need that kind of partisan interference here. To that end, I would like to ask Council in general and Deputy Mayor Chan specifically the following questions. Who sponsored the Chinese community meet and greet on November 5th, to which Pierre Poilievre was invited? Who was the host of this event? Will Deputy Mayor Chan repudiate the false and biased claims made by Pierre Poilievre regarding, quote, radical gender ideology, end quote, a known dog whistle for homophobic and transphobic rhetoric? Was anyone else from council in attendance at this event? If so, who and in what capacity? Is anyone on this council an official member of the political party, any political party? If so, to which party have they pledged their loyalty? It's one thing to make a donation to a particular party. It's something quite different when a person is an active member following an agenda that may not be in the best interest of the residents of Richmond Hill. Finally, insofar as you are able, what steps will this council take to ensure that biased and often toxic partisan politics does not creep into the functioning of this or any future council? Thank you, Mayor West and council, for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, so is Cyrus here yet? Okay, and is Tristan here? I don't see anybody coming in. Okay, so I think that will do it then for our council public forum. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. The next item on our agenda is council announcements. Do we have anybody for council announcements this morning? Okay, Councillor Davidson and then Councillor Thompson.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. I hope I can ask a question. I was driving home yesterday and I saw a huge lit up Stouffville sign right at the exit where you get to Richmond Hill, around Stouffville. And my question is, are we going to let them away with that? Well, if you turn right, yeah, you get to Stouffville. If you turn left, you go to Richmond Hill. So I guess my announcement is, it's on Stouffville and we're going to see about those lit up signs on Richmond Hill exits. They're beautiful signs. We'll see what we can do. That's my announcement.
Thank you. I will talk to Mayor Lovett tomorrow. I assure you. We will have a firm discussion. Councillor Thompson.
Thank you very much. Through you, the mayor, I'd just like to remind folks that there's an opportunity to become CPR savvy. So there's a non-certification course that's being offered for free at the Richvale Community Center this Saturday. You can certainly sign up through my own social media site, or I believe from our own website. I have to verify that. Or certainly going to St. John's Ambulance, to their website, you can certainly sign up to the free CPR event. So it's a non-certification, but it certainly will provide you with all the needs to be able to save a life. And sometimes that life could be somebody very close to you. So I certainly recommend people to take advantage of this free event. We're trying to, as part of our 150th year, we're looking to train 150 people this Saturday. So take advantage of that event. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else with announcements? Okay, seeing none, I have a few. I would like to reiterate the CPR event that's happening. I mean, it's certainly a very important thing for somebody that's suffering a heart attack or any sort of a heart issue, to have somebody that knows what they're doing. And I'm sure they would be thankful if more people in our community knew how to perform things like CPR. I do want to say that I was pleased with the news this morning that it would appear that the world community is making some progress towards a ceasefire and allowing humanitarian aid and release of hostages in the Middle East. I think that's something that's good news. But I will say that we are seeing, unfortunately, in our community, an uptick in hate crimes. We've had recently some violence that happened or threat of violence that happened at the Jafari Center in Thornhill, just across the street from us. We've also had a potential threat at a community center near Bathurst at the Near Israel Drive in Vaughan. And this is, although there was not a threat in the end of this is the kind of behavior that we absolutely do not want to ever see in our community. York Regional Police are seeing, as I mentioned, a spike in hate crimes. They say they've logged over 90 hate crime reports, which is up significantly from last year. So I would just implore our community that in these times, we unite to support our fellow Richmond Hill citizens with the compassion and inclusive attitudes that we know and love about our community and want to encourage. This type of hateful act and hate crime has absolutely no place in our community. And I think almost everybody in our community would agree to that. So we need to make sure that we're acting accordingly. And I trust that we will. I would like to also mention that we are in competition right now with other York Region mayors for the Fill a Purse for a Sister campaign. We're doing quite well. As actually, Stouffville is one of the places or the cities that made the challenge. So we want to make sure that we're doing our part to help women in need. And you can drop off your purse filled with the feminine supplies up until December 1st. And I'd also like to thank and give a shout out to all of those that participated in the I Love Richmond Hill photo exhibition that we had recently. It was a great success. Some unbelievably beautiful photos of important places in our community were displayed at this event. And we had a couple hundred people, I would think, that came out to this and listened to some informative speakers on photography. But most of all, were able to share and enjoy some of the places that we love so much in our community. And finally, I just wanted to mention that I will be launching an invitation tomorrow at York Region Council to all the York Region mayors to get them to join our team for the 360 Kids Longest Night of the Year event. So stay tuned for that. There will be opportunities to support that organization and to raise money for them in that endeavor. So that's it for me. So seeing no one else, moving on, we need to now go to emergency on time-sensitive matters. Is there anybody wants to bring that up? Okay. So adoption of the agenda. I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Regional Local Councillor DePaulo, Councillor Shu, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries unanimously. Disclosures of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Seeing none, Mr. Clerk. Okay, so we have the adoption of previous council minutes. We have special council meeting on November the 7th and a council meeting on November the 8th. Could do a 2-for-1 special on that one if somebody wanted to move those. Councillor Tree, Councillor Davidson, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Okay, so identification of items requiring separate discussion. Okay, Councillor Thompson.
Yes, I'd like to pull item 15.410, the Blue Blocks transition update.
Hold on a sec. Which number is that?
15.410.
Got it. Okay. Regional Local Councillor Chan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to pull item 15.5, York Region Transit, regarding York Regional Transit. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? At this time, we could also, I have a member motion about an item to go into camera. We could deal with that on consent as well. So procedurally, that would be a little bit more convenient. Can somebody's okay? We're okay with that? So we can put that on consent? Okay. Actually, we don't really need a motion for that, I don't think. Okay. All right, so that would mean then that item 15.1, 15.2, 15.3, as well as the sub in 15.3, 15.4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, as well as the correspondence 15.6, the memorandum 15.7, the memorandum 15.8, the member motion 16.1 will pass on consent. Okay, so I need a motion to move the rest of those items then. Councillor Tree, Councillor Silovitz, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Thank you. All right. We have nobody on public hearings today, and it is with great pleasure that I move to the next item here, which is a presentation by myself and members of the Bell family for the William F. Bell Young Entrepreneur Award. So just give me 1 second here. Okay. So today we are going to be presenting the William F. Bell Young Entrepreneur Award like we do every year. Mayor Bell served Richmond Hill for 26 years, including 6 terms as mayor. And each year this award honors his legacy. Joining us to help present the award today are Mayor Bell's wife, Jackie, his daughter, Julie, and his brother, John. Welcome on an annual basis. In 2006, the city introduced the William F. Bell Young Entrepreneur Award to recognize successful young entrepreneurs taking part in the Ontario Summer Company Program. Richmond Hill Summer Company Program began in 2004, and since then, more than 170 young entrepreneurs have successfully launched a summer business with help from the Richmond Hill Small Business Enterprise Center. I would like to now invite Julie to tell us about this year's recipient. Over to you.
Need my notes. Thank you, Mayor West.
You're welcome. There's your notes.
Great. Well, that's bigger. On behalf of my family, I'm happy to be here to present this award, and thank you for having us. This year's winner is a dedicated and creative student who specializes in creating and selling tote bags featuring her custom and unique designs with her company, Fill Your Tote. Her incredible creativity and distinctive artistic ideas have made Fill Your Tote stand out for its clean, sleek, and original style. The summer company program helped her push herself and step out of her comfort zone. And as she encountered challenges like pricing issues and tough gatekeepers, but never gave up. Her focus was on forming quality connections and partnerships. Her perseverance and creativity paid off. Her tote bags were sold through the CNE, various markets, fairs, gift shops, and even partnered with a summer camp. She is currently in discussions with several conference organizers, as well as local libraries and community services initiatives to create their custom designed tote bags. In total, 217 of her tote bags were sold across the GTA this summer. I am pleased to announce that this year's William F. Bell Young Entrepreneur is Annie Rong, owner of Fill Your Tote. Thank you.
All right, so Annie certainly has shown determination and a passion for entrepreneurship with her hard work over the summer. I had the pleasure of talking to her a little while ago before the meeting, and that certainly comes through in what she says and who she is. So we wish her continued success with her creative tote bag business, and maybe someday she can be a summer company mentor to other young entrepreneurs. So on behalf of the Bell family, members of council, and the Richmond Hill Small Business Enterprise Center, I'd like to congratulate Annie on her participation in the summer company program and her success. Thank you. Congratulations. All right. Come on this side, guys. We'll balance it out. Awesome. Congratulations. Annie. Good work.
Thank you.
Oh, one more here. Hold on. Sorry. I jumped the gun. You got one? All right. Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. Congratulations. Well done.
Congratulations.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much. Thanks again to the Bell family for having this done every year. It really is a great award. I look forward to this every year. And I know that Mayor Bell, given his interest in entrepreneurship, would be very proud of that. I also do want to give a shout out to Annie's support cast, i.e. mom and dad. Thank you very much for coming out and doing all the things that parents do to help their kids. It's also very much appreciated. And Annie, I know you do. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is a delegation from Art Lambert Christian Orthodox Cemetery regarding the request of the Christian Orthodox Cemetery, Inc. for the city's consent to be exempted from the requirement pursuant to the Funeral, Burial, and Cremation Services Act 2002. And this refers to item 19.1B. So Reverend Lambert, I see you there in 2 dimensions on the screen. So you've got 5 minutes to address council. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, councillors. I'm glad to see all of you today safe and sound. It is, by the way, what we are praying for on a weekly basis. For those who doesn't know me, my name is Reverend Art Lambert. I'm the head of the Ukrainian community in the city of Richmond Hill, and I'm the priest with the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. As you know, over the last 2 years, the Ukrainian community in the city of Richmond Hill dramatically increased. And as for right now, we're facing the demand to increase the capacity of the buildings that we currently use as 9550 Leslie Street. The property consists of the building of the church and the attached cemetery. In order for us to increase the capacity of the existing building and redevelop it, we are required to conduct archaeological assessment. The church actually completed the stage 1 that was approved by the ministry, and we applied for the stage 2 of the archaeological assessment. But the bereavement authority required to issue the permit for us to conduct stage 2, and the BAO, I would address this authority by the abbreviation, requires either church or another organization to obtain the cemetery operator license. Why they impose this requirement is unclear for me, because it is not contemplated neither by the act or regulation, but we face the situation either to comply or go on the legal fight that neither church nor the community can afford, especially given the account to the high legal cost that is usually non-recoverable. So for these purposes, in order to be licensed, the Christian Orthodox Cemetery Incorporation was created that prepared the application for the cemetery operator license, but now the bereavement authority asking to put 165,000 into the care maintenance funds for the cemetery, or to provide the letter consent for the exemption from this requirement for us to be licensed and become the cemetery operator license. What is the reason that stays behind this requirement to put 165,000 into the care maintenance funds isn't clear to me, because Act and regulation requires it only to the new cemetery when a new cemetery is established or the existing cemetery increases its capacity. In fact, the cemetery that we are talking about is called Headport Cemetery. It is an old one that goes back more than 100 years. And what the church is has planned to do is actually not increase but decrease the capacity of this cemetery, given its historical nature, and the church plans only to allow burials for the members of the congregation, namely clergy and their family members. So again, we are not increased but decreasing the capacity of the existing cemetery. And in order for us to proceed with the cemetery operator license, we are asking the city to provide the letter of consent for the bereavement authority to grant as an exemption from the requirement imposed by them. Again, I don't know the reasons that stays behind this requirement, but we have no choice either to comply or go on a legal battle or ask the city for help. And I would appreciate the city positive decision on this consent, so we can move forward and address the increase in demand in the spaces for the Ukrainian community. That's a part of the Richmond Hill community. And by the way, just for the information, with the new established premises, the church has planned to introduce some pro bono services for victims of family violence and women in need. Thank you for your attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Reverend. All right, so moving on then to the rest of the agenda. The first item that we had pulled was 15.4.10, and that was Councillor Thompson.
Thank you very much. Through you, the chair, I will be moving the motion of the staff's recommendations, but I would like to just add one clause or make an amendment to that request. And I believe our city clerk may have something that we can view online. So I'd like to bring your attention to item E here. And basically what we'd like to do is that the mayor be directed to send a letter expressing council's concerns with the Blue Box Transition Program to the Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, AMO, our Ontario Big City Mayors, all of York Region and local Richmond Hill members of provincial parliament. So that would be my request to be added to this particular motion.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Davidson, go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor, and I will second that.
Okay, any comments? Good, okay. Any other comments on that item? Okay, I will say, I thank you, Councillor Thompson and Councillor Davidson, for doing that, and Councillor Liu. We all met this morning just to talk about what more we can do on this. This has been coming down the pike for many, many years now, and we've had lots and lots and lots of time to get this right. But my concern is, given the staff report and given some other things that I've been speaking to our director about and our commissioner about, there's still a whole bunch of issues with this program that are not addressed. And time, I'm very concerned that time is more than running short to make any positive changes on this. So I think we need, as a municipality, to be speaking up about this. I know other municipalities have done so, but there are concerns about this that our citizens are going to be, looking at, and that we are going to be suffering potentially some financial consequences from this legislation. And I think now is the time to speak about it, to see if there's changes that can be made to make this system better. I mean, generally speaking, this legislation allows the producers of recyclable materials to take responsibility for those materials and collect them and do what they need to do to keep them out of landfill sites. But I'm just concerned with the information that we've received from staff that the execution of that plan might not give us the result that we need. There are financial considerations, there are environmental considerations. What we want right now is more material being kept out of landfill sites, not less. And I believe that there's still the potential here for that not to be the case. So I look forward to seeing, to writing this letter and sending that input in, and hopefully other municipalities can join us in a discussion so that we can do our advocacy to make sure that this program ends up being better than what is being proposed at the moment. All right, so seeing no other speakers then, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries unanimously, I believe. Okay, thank you. The next item then is 15.5, and that was pulled by Regional Local Councillor Godwin Chan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Rather than having this item just received with consent, I think it's really important to point out, just as late as last night at the council public meeting, public transit is always one of the top issue they've been bring up at all property planning applications. So I don't want this item to go unnoticed without highlighting a number of points. Then number one, that York Region Transit does an actual listing with not just a general statement, all the particular routes, they actually have made service improvements. And secondly, is also talking about specifically with respect to the city of Richmond Hill, what have been the initiative in the York Region Public Transit to help to connect commuters, our residents, as well as anyone who have to use a public transit, including, I would just add, a couple of things that one of them I also highlight in my recent newsletter that perhaps not as many people would know, and I'd like to actually make it particular at this meeting so that is also publicly recorded, that for anyone who is actually 65 and older, the York Region Transit actually provide what we call mobility on demand. It is actually one can call up and arrange to have a ride, and you can book in advance within 5 kilometers of the home. And I think this will assist, and we just passed age-friendly community, which is while T is not part of it, but nonetheless, for senior citizens who might have the need to go to either pharmacies, medical, other appointments. And this program actually have been on pilot testing, but now is permanent all over York Region. As well, there's a program called Transit Assistant Program. And this is for people under 65. anyone from 18 to 64, you can receive a 50% discount, half of the YLT fare, York Region Transit fare, using a Pastel card. Of course, there's some eligibility requirements, but I think that it's important to highlight that for the public record to be recognized, York Region Transit, where half our public tax dollars go to support, along with other York Region services, have these 2 permanent services for 18 to 64 and also seniors. Now, there's some good news, so to speak, but also some challenges in the future. So one is that it's indicated that the ridership overall actually has returned to pre-pandemic level, which is good news. On the other hand, there seems to be a challenge because of the hybrid working environment. And it's been pointed out that during the weekday commuting period, the attendance is not quite as it used to be. So perhaps moving forward, there's an area to be looked at. But all in all, I, for one, honestly think this is a good news story, not just for YLT, but more importantly, for all our residents, businesses in the city of Richmond Hill that know that service improvement, and overall also 2 permanent programs to help those who need. And Mr. Mayor, in the end, I'd like to move the motion to receive this particular briefing note from the York Region Transit on 2024 transit initiatives for the city of Richmond Hill with thanks.
Okay, seconder, Councillor Davidson. Okay, any other, sorry, go ahead. Yep.
Thank you. And thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the expanded mobility on demand. That's great. But in Ward 1, we are grossly underserviced with public transit, and we have 2 GO stations that you cannot get to by public transit. It doesn't matter which train you take, what time you want to go. The only way to use public transit is to have a car or to get someone to drive you. And the booths are unmanned or unwomaned. So even if you take the train and you're stranded, or whoever picked you up is supposed to, there's no service to even really get a hold of people. There's just, I just think with 40,000 people living in Oak Ridges, there's no excuse that I can't take a bus to the GO station and reduce traffic. And I was disappointed that service to either of the GO stations in Richmond, in Ward 1, Oak Ridges, was not on the list. And I encourage York Region to look at other options. I get it. Maybe you're not going to have a full bus, but if we had vans even at certain times of day, would that I realize the driver is the issue. Do you need the same license to drive a van as you do to drive a bus? If not, let's try some things, because taxpayers invested millions in those GO stations, and the trains are pretty much empty because you can't get there. It's ridiculous. And I would really encourage York Region to start looking at Ward 1 with a better level of service, whatever it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else on this item? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, that carries unanimously. All right, so that ends our regular part of the agenda. Do we have you want to do bylaws now, Mr. Clerk? Okay, so all of them, right? Okay, we get a motion for all of the bylaws. Councillor Tree, Councillor Silovitz, all those in favor? Opposed, that carries unanimously. Okay, thank you. All right, so I need a resolution at this moment to move into closed session. We have 3 different items that we need to deal with. One is to consider matters related to labor relations or employee negotiations with respect to administrative employees and members of council under Section 239 of the Municipal Act. To consider matters related to receiving advice to the subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose and related to the request of the Christian Orthodox Cemetery, Inc. for the city's consent to be exempted from the requirement pursuant to the Funeral, Burial, and Cremation Services Act 2002, sections 33, to have 165,000 care and maintenance fund for the Headford United Church Cemetery at 9550 Leslie Street. And finally, to consider personal matters about identified individuals and labor relations or employee negotiations related to the employment of executive level staff, Section 239 of the Municipal Act. That was good, eh? All right, thanks. All right, all those in favor? Oh, we need a mover and seconder? Oh, I got so excited about reading that I get excited. So, okay, Councillor Chan, seconder, Councillor Silovitz, you're being very enthusiastic today about your seconding, Councillor Silovitz. Good job on that. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries unanimously.